Thank you so much for coming to my class. I'm about 6 minutes into it, and I have 40 minutes total, but it kicks me off at 40. So we're still good. Sweating now because of frustration with a technology. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with some yoga. So finding a seat, we'll sit on the back of our legs right here. If your toes are tucked, that's fine, but it's gonna be an intense stretch right here in your foot. So sitting on your seat right here, this may be a little bit intense, so if you need to come onto some sort of block or book, that's always great, or if you just wanna come forward if it's too much or on your knees. I like to do this because it opens up a little bit of a warm up here and then on the front of our calves. I'm getting this out of the way. So we'll start with some breathing. This is called, I think it's called barometer pranayama. So it's like a bee breath. So as you inhale regularly, but then with your mouth closed, exhaling through your nose, you'll make a bee noise, and you may see my cats start to flock towards me. So we'll inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. We'll do 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling regularly through the nose. So that has some nice, good benefits, and it also kind of gets nice, good vibrations through the body. So today I really wanted to work on opening the chest, doing some hip work, and then opening up the front of the thighs a little bit. So we'll come down onto our hands and knees. So your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hip bones. Wanting to make sure you're hip width apart, so where the hip bones are down, that should be where your knees are, and then with your hands, shoulders, and down. Toes can be tucked or untucked. And we'll inhale as our chest comes down, gaze slightly rises, pelvis tilts. Cow. Exhale into our cat. Our chest comes in, our shoulders come forward, our pelvis tilts the opposite direction. Inhale into your cat, or excuse me, cow. Exhale into your cat position. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, coming to a neutral spine. And we'll tuck the toes, press back into downward facing dog. So maybe bending one knee at a time, bringing one heel down to the mat. Maybe bringing your knees to the side a little bit underneath the body, getting a little side stretch, a little lateral flexion. Maybe finding a deep bend in the knee, bringing the stomach towards the thighs, and opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. We'll find 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, we'll meet in stillness, downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll slowly step forward, 1 foot at a time. Slow, small steps. Until you come to the top of your mat, fold. Inhale here. And exhale as you fold. Maybe you come down a little bit more. Maybe you get a nice bend in the knees. Maybe you bring your hands behind your neck, not pulling, but just resting. Inhale, releasing the neck. Maybe you're releasing some of the tension from the day. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, we'll release whatever bind we have, bringing our hands back down. Inhale, strong in the back of the legs, strong in the core. As we rise back up, standing position. Hands come up to the sky. Exhale, down into prayer. We'll do a sun salutation A. Inhale, arms out and up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right leg back into a lunge. Exhale, step the left leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward into a plank. Exhale, knees lower, chest lowers. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, pressing through the knees, back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll stay here for 2 breaths. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, finding stillness. Inhale, bring your right foot between your hands, lunge. Exhale, left foot between the hands, fold. Inhale as you rise up to the sky. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left leg back into a lunge. Exhale, right leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward into a plank. Exhale, knees lower, chest lowers between the hands, and then scooping forward into a cobra, elbows locked behind. Inhale as we tuck the toes, press through the knees, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, 2 breaths here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, we'll find stillness. Inhale, bringing the left foot between the hands, lunge. Exhale, step the right foot forward, fold. Inhale as we rise back up, grabbing onto this great energy we just created. And exhale, fold. Inhale here. Exhale, stepping back into our our plank. Inhale, strong in the core. Exhale, lower the knees, untuck the toes, bring the chest down between the hands, and scoot forward onto your cobra. We will be resting our face down a few times, so if you need to push back a little bit further, because you'd rather put your face down on your yoga mat, you can. So resting your right cheek
onto the mat. We'll talk about where we should have our hands and feet or left cheek, whatever's easier to see the iPad or whatever you're using. So your hands, you want them to be kind of relatively close to your rib cage. Your feet, you want to have your toes kind of touching with your heels open. And if we need to use any engagement of the back body, you can bring your heels together and inhale, bringing your legs up if we need to, which we will eventually get into some lotus here. So we'll do some chest openers. So as we inhale, we're actually going to bring our hands a little bit forward first. And we'll inhale, slowly peeling up, rolling the shoulders back, keeping the gaze low, not wanting to crank the neck back, but creating space in the spine first. And then maybe we can get a little bit more distance as we have a little flexion in the spine. Inhale, exhale, lower. Left cheek to the mat, releasing. Inhale. And exhale, bringing your hands almost to the outside of your mat, if not halfway. And so we'll do a similar as we inhale, pushing up, rotating our shoulders back, finding long spine, and then maybe being able to rotate back, bringing our chest forward, opening up our chest, only going as back as your body feels comfortable. No pinching. If you start to pinch, come out of it. Inhale and exhale as we lower. Next, we'll go into our Sphinx pose. So we'll inhale, slowly push up, and then we'll bring our elbows onto the mat about shoulder width apart. From here, I'm going to kind of demonstrate. You really want to pull the chest through. It's an exaggeration, but you really want to pull the chest through, shoulders back, and then gauge your core, and we'll inhale into our Sphinx pose. Gaze doesn't have to be really high. It can be a little bit high, but it doesn't have to be all the way to the ceiling. And on the exhale, turning your gaze over to the left, looking at maybe just the outside of your left hip. Inhale. Exhale, bringing your gaze back to forward. Inhale. And exhale, we'll slowly bring our gaze to that right outer hip. Inhale. And exhale, we'll bring our gaze back forward. And then we'll slowly come back down onto our left cheek this time. So bringing a little bit of engagement with the feet. So toes are together, heels are out for now. Bring your hands alongside your hips. And then eventually, we're going to come into a modified lotus. So we'll engage our back body. But some things to think about is you can imagine you're grabbing onto 2 ropes. And as you inhale, it's almost like you're being pulled backwards, engaging the core, lifting up the feet or keeping them down depending on your body. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly coming down, rotating to the other cheek. You can keep your arms where they were or bring them to a T. Inhale. Exhale. So we'll do it again. You can keep your arms in a T or they were on the previous one. And on the inhale, we'll rise up, engaging the core, engaging the back body. Inhale. And exhale, lowering down. And you can bring your arms up in front of you if you want to do this for the next one. Rotating to one cheek to rest. Inhale. Exhale. And same thing from before, almost like you're grabbing onto ropes and you're being pulled away and up. We'll inhale, engage the core, engage the back body. Exhale. Inhale. You don't have to go very high. You can go 1 inch off the mat, and that's perfect. Exhale, we'll lower. We'll bring our arms along our side next to our hips. And then now, we're gonna go into a bow pose. So we'll do it twice. So if you can only grab onto 1 foot at a time, that's fine. You'll do sort of a half bow like this, maybe bringing one hand to the mat. But if you're able to grab onto both feet, go ahead and do that now. Notice that a tendency is maybe wanting to keep your knees open, your feet going on the outsides of you. Bring your knees together, engage your core, roll your shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale, bringing your chin to the mat. And inhale, we'll press our feet into our hands first. And maybe that's all we go, and that's perfect. Exhale, maybe we engage the core, we engage the back body. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Bringing your, going onto the other cheek and keeping hold of the feet or letting them go. If you're doing one at a time, letting go of the foot you had and grabbing a hold of the foot you're going to. Whatever you're doing, we'll inhale, finding our grip. Exhale, chin to the chest. And inhale, pushing our feet into our hands. And then engaging the core, engaging the back body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Coming on to the opposite cheek from the last time. And we'll inhale, bringing our hands to the mat. Exhale, bend in the knees, pushing back into a child's pose. Nice and slow, because it might be a little sensitive from all that back bending the other way. Inhale here. Exhale, finding your child's pose. Maybe you wanted your knees wide, maybe you wanted them together. Maybe you wanted to stick your arms in between your legs, grabbing a hold of your heels, crisscross applesauce underneath. Inhale if you're doing that. Exhale, we'll go on to the other cheek. Inhale. And exhale, coming out of your child's pose. And then we'll come on to our hands and knees. We'll inhale here and exhale. We'll bring our left knee into our chest and slowly bringing it between our hands. So it'll probably be more on the left side, so not right dead in the center. And we can scoot that right leg back, that right knee back. So this is the low lunge Anjaneyasana. You want your left knee over the foot, but you're not necessarily at a 90-degree angle anymore. You have a deep bend or you have a deep stretch in front of that right thigh, but you're not coming into a straddle. Bring that right hip forward. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're slowly going to come back, straightening the left leg, flexing the foot, maybe coming up on blocks or a book, anything that can elevate you. So maybe it's a very intense hamstring stretch and you want to maybe come out of it a little bit. Not trying to force ourselves down, but think of bringing the base of the lower portion of your spine down first, feeling that deeper stretch of the hamstring. If it's too deep, come on out of it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. You can bring a slight bend to the left leg. Bring your right calf a little bit out as you slowly come onto a seat, and you're going to bring into a half hero pose.
So you're gonna be sitting on the inside of that calf. If this is too much, you could always sit on something else, or you can do what we were doing earlier in class and just kind of sit on the back of the leg. So wherever you are in your half hero pose, we'll see if we can come down a little bit lower. If this is perfect, if this is already maxed out on the stretch, stay here. You're gonna wanna bring keep your knees about hip distance apart, if not a little closer. And maybe you wanna come down a little bit lower. Maybe this is perfect. Remember too, you don't wanna come down and do a back bend. You wanna engage the core, bring the pelvis into alignment and lower down with the pelvis, not just lowering down in a back bend. Inhale, maybe you came to your elbows. Exhale, maybe lay all the way down. And this will be a nice deep stretch in front of that right thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, we'll slowly come up onto our elbows if we're laying down. If we're on our elbows, we'll slowly come onto our hands. And then eventually we'll slowly come up and onto that left foot in sort of a resting lunge. So bringing that left leg back, maybe swaying the hips left and right, seeing the difference here. And then inhale, bringing the right knee into the chest, stepping it forward. So finding a nice knee over the heel, and then slowly bringing your your left leg all the way back. Beautiful. So whatever, however it feels, so just a nice deep stretch right in front of that, that thigh. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, we'll slowly start to straighten that right leg out, keeping the right foot flexed. And then maybe you come up on blocks. Maybe you have a little bend in the knee. Whatever you need for your hamstring. Maybe it isn't quite warmed up yet and you want to not go all the way down to the full extension. Inhale here. Exhale, maybe you do come down a little bit. Inhale. Exhale, finding a slight bend in that right knee, regardless of where you are. And then eventually coming down in between our left calf muscle. So into a half hero pose. And again, if this is too much, you have your modification. So finding what pose works for you. Maybe this side is a little bit more tight. Maybe it's a little bit more flexible. So we'll slowly come down to whatever works for our body types. Keeping the knees together, not having them splay out, and then not just doing a back bend to come down, but if our body allows it, coming down to whatever feels good on the stretch here in the left thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, we'll slowly come back up again, pushing up and coming onto our right foot, straightening the left leg, and then bringing our hands between our legs and then having the feet at a 45. So a nice wide-legged fold here. Thinking of bringing the thigh bones in, tilting the tailbone up, and maybe bringing something to rest your hands on. And inhale wherever you are. Exhale, maybe you lower down a little bit lower. Inhale, be here for 2 breaths. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, slowly coming back up onto your hands. Again, maybe a block will work here. We're gonna have a little twist. Placing your right hand on the mat directly in front of you. Left hand is on the hip and we'll twist to the left.
So my chest is open to the left. I don't want to twist with the hips. I want a spinal twist. And then maybe we lift our left arm up to the sky, twist. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale, bringing our left hand down to the mat, replacing our right. Right hand comes to the hip. Inhale. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, bringing that right arm up. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. And exhale, lower that hand all the way down. So we'll come a little bit forward. An easy bend in the knees. A little bit more forward. And slowly, slowly, carefully bringing our knees down wide. Our feet can be at 90-degree angles, or if it works for your body, you can bring them together. So that might hurt the hips, and if it does, don't do it. So coming into your frog position. So we'll be here for just a few breaths. You can stay here on your hands. Maybe you can lower down to your elbows. Maybe you'd lower down a little bit lower. My hips aren't going to open any more than this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, slowly coming back onto the elbows if you were there. Slowly coming onto the hands. And then slowly inching your knees together. Being careful not to just bring your knees in because it may hurt the hips. Beautiful. And then we'll come on to our backs. So on your back, you can lift your right knee into your chest with your left foot on the mat. You can straighten your right leg out, finding a nice deep hamstring stretch here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, keeping the left hip down on the mat, grabbing onto the inside of the right thigh. You can open that right leg up to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Placing your hand now on the outside, grabbing a hold of that thigh, and inhale, bringing your leg back up. Exhale. And inhale, we're going to keep our right hip mounted on or into the mat. And we're slowly going to bring our right leg just a little to the left. You should feel a nice deep IT band stretch here. So keep that right hip rooted into the mat. Inhale. Exhale. And now we'll straighten that left leg, grabbing onto the outside of our thigh. Our right hand can come down, and our left leg can go all the way back. Twist. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, you can bend the right knee, and then bending the left, bringing it into the chest, bending the left knee and placing the right ankle on the left knee. Inhale, grabbing a hold of the back of the thigh. Exhale. Inhale, maybe you straighten your left leg. Exhale, maybe you bring it back down. Maybe you can open up your right thigh a little bit, flexing the right foot. Inhale, maybe you straighten your left leg, one more. Exhale, bending it. And inhale, maybe you bring your right foot down into a lotus. Inhale. And exhale, bringing your feet back down onto the mat. We'll work the left foot now. Grabbing onto the back of the thigh, straightening the left foot, flexing the foot. Left leg, flexing the foot. Inhale. And exhale, we'll slowly lower it to the left, holding onto the outer thigh, keeping that right hip rooted down. We don't want to tip up to try to get further. Inhale, bringing that leg back up. And exhale, holding on to the leg, keeping that left hip on the mat, finding a little dip to the right, finding an IT band stretch. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, straighten that right leg. Exhale, finding a twist. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, bring the knee into the chest. Exhale, bringing the right knee up, catching the the ankle of the left foot, opening up that left thigh, maybe grabbing a hold of the back of the right thigh. And of course, keeping your, you don't want to kind of crunch up, just holding it wherever you can. And inhale, maybe you straighten the right leg. Exhale, bending it. Inhale, again, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bending it. And inhale, maybe you bring your left leg into a half lotus. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, bringing both feet down on the mat. So bring your feet on the mat, knees towards the ceiling. Bring your right knee into your chest again. Bring your right ankle all the way over the left side of your left thigh. Engage your core, lift your left foot up. See if you can reach down and grab that left foot with the right hand. If you can't, you may be able to give a little bit of core, but you really don't want to have to lunge up. So if you can grab onto it, great. If you can't, no big deal. So ultimately, you will grab onto your right foot with your left hand. So a little bit tricky. So either that leg is straight, because maybe you just couldn't grab onto it today, or you have your knees stacked right on top of left, grabbing onto your feet, and then having your feet kind of parallel with each other. About like this. So this is a lying down cow face. So you can bring your knees in, you can bring your knees out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, you can bring your knees in, and you can bring your knees out. Exhale. And even if you're only moving like a millimeter, that's fine. If it hurts, don't do it. Inhale, bring your knees in. Exhale, bringing them out. Inhale, hold it here. Exhale, release your feet. Bringing your right foot back down onto the mat. And we'll sway the hips left and right. Inhale. And exhale. Finding stillness with the knees pointed towards the ceiling. Bring that left knee into the chest, grabbing a hold of it. Bringing our left foot onto the outside of our right thigh, the right side of it. And then lifting up our right knee, seeing if we can grab onto the right foot with our left hand. Maybe you have to bring that foot over a little bit. And talked about before the options on the other side. So choose the same modification, or maybe this side's a little less flexible or more flexible. Grabbing onto your left foot with your right hand. And again, you're stacking your knees on top of each other. Your feet are parallel with each other. Inhale. Bring your knees in. Exhale. Bring them out. Inhale. Bring your knees in. Exhale. Letting them out. Inhale. Bringing your knees in. Exhale. Letting them out. Hold it here. Inhale. Exhale, slowly releasing the feet, bringing your feet back onto the mat. We'll windshield wiper them again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We'll meet in stillness with our knees pointed up to the ceiling. Inhale, bringing your
right knee into your chest. Exhale, crossing it over the left. Inhale, and this time bringing your left foot all the way to the right, seeing if you can grab a hold of it. Maybe you couldn't before, but maybe just bringing it over this way kind of helps. So you can let go of that right foot if you had it, and just grabbing onto that left foot and tucking it under the bottom, laying the knee down long, and your right foot you could bring back down onto the mat. So this is going to target the left hip flexor or the in front of the left thigh. Inhale. Exhale, flex the foot of the left foot to protect the knee. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale as you bring that left knee up, letting go of the foot. And exhale, so we'll get the other side. Bringing the left knee into our chest, bringing our foot over our right knee, and then our right foot goes all the way to the left and up, seeing if maybe we can just gently grab a hold of it, and then slowly, slowly bringing our right foot in towards our bottom, we slowly bring our right knee towards the ground, and our left foot can come back down, foot on the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, bringing your right knee in towards the chest, bringing your knees up and giving yourself a little rock back and forth, left to right, small massage on the lower back. Maybe you come up a little bit, target that where you want the weight to go, and the weight of your back will give the floor, will give your back a little pressure, a little massage. Inhale. And exhale, release. Inhale, we'll go and reach between our knees, grabbing onto the outsides of the feet or the big toes with our two peace fingers. And then coming into sort of like a double lizard, keeping our tailbone rooted to the ground. Our knees are closer to our armpits, and maybe you have to keep your knees bent pretty deeply, or maybe you can straighten them out just a little bit. Inhale. Maybe you rock side to side. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe as one foot comes to the center, you give it a nice straight leg. Again, keeping your tailbone on the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, letting go of the feet. Bringing your feet together. Bringing your feet in prayer. And bringing them to the mat, having your knees wide. Or, so this is a Supta Baddha Konasana, or you can straighten your legs out long in Shavasana with your hands out. So, options here. If this is too much strain, you can find something to prop your thighs up so it doesn't exert too much pressure on your hips. If you have a weighted sandbag or something like that, you can place it around on your hips. It might feel pretty nice. So whatever you choose for Shavasana, we'll be here for 3 minutes, letting go of the breath. first movement will be a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Exhale, circle your wrists, circle your ankles. Straighten your legs if you were in a cobbler's pose, lying down. Inhale, bring your arms up and overhead, stretching from fingertips to toe tips. Inhale. Exhale out the mouth, side out. Inhale, stretch. Exhale out the mouth, side out. And inhale, bringing your knees in towards your chest. Exhale, rolling over to your left or right side, lying on the bicep of the arm that's on the ground. The other hand pressing in to the mat, the top hand. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale, pressing in with that hand. We'll sit back up. Find that same seated position we were in the beginning of class. Maybe your heels open a little bit and you can find something closer to hero's pose, or you open your calves a little bit and you can come all the way down to hero's pose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Exhale. Thank you so much for coming to class.